Hendo, thank you very much for joining us. The first night of the XL Lions getting underway this evening. How excited is to be getting going tonight?
Yeah, it's great. It's great that we've, first and foremost, it's great that we have a player pathway for our younger players within the local community to embrace and be part of and provide that opportunity for them. So, really pleased that we have it off the ground and starting tonight. It's going to be a 4-week program for our under-12s and a 6-week program for our under-13s and under-14s with a potential playing opportunity at the end of it. It's an open access program, so it really forms the first stage of our player performance pathways. So for me, it's just a great opportunity for younger players within the community game to get some exposure and get the sort of the first steps on the ladder, so to speak, of becoming a professional rugby league player.
And we've seen numerous first-team players, obviously, having had that background of playing their amateur rugby league in York to come through into the first team. And hopefully exciting and able to continue that journey in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's vitally important. I think for any club to be successful, you need to be producing your own players and developing your own, and certainly presenting opportunities and pathways for players to grow and develop and potentially one day become a first team player for the Knights. So, look, I think it's great that we have this program up and running. Obviously, we've got some big plans ahead to try and develop that further and also create another layer of professionalism to create another stage of the pathway, and then ultimately in the long term, hopefully in the next couple of years, we can put together a strong bid, an application for a Super League licence for an academy system and set up, which would be fantastic.
As you mentioned, obviously tonight, part of the sort of first stage on that pathway. Just talk us through what the players can expect tonight and what sort of is involved with this sort of first stage of the pathway.
Yeah, well, look, obviously, it's like I said, it's open access. It's not a squad that's been sort of identified and highlighted. So it is, like I said, just a real opportunity for players of that age group, under 12s, 13s, 14s, to come in. There will be some standards and expectations set for these younger players whilst they're in our environment, because they are ultimately representing the Knights brand and the club. So there will be that, but also hopefully it'll be an enjoyable experience for them. But again, an experience where they'll learn a few things, in terms of technical side of things, but also some other bits and pieces from a performance point of view to take back to their community clubs. And then the next stage is then we want to set up a Squires program where we will sort of try and identify a little bit more sort of talented players that we feel can progress to that next stage. The long-term then plan would be then to get a Super League scholarship academy, and then there would be a real traditional sense of a pathway in place there, because at the moment we sort of get to our under-16s XL program and then there's a huge gap then between that and then the first team. So, effectively players have to return to the community game, apply their tried there in under-18 level or obviously in open age level before they can get an opportunity back here, unless they're super talented and bypass all that and get there. But as we know with rugby league, it's a late maturing sport, it's a late developing sport for players. So, but we need to try and create those next stages of progression and development for players to ultimately give them the best opportunity and the best chance of becoming first-grade rugby league players, and hopefully here at the Knights.
Yeah, and just finally, I guess that's a process of putting those stages in place, those processes in place. That's going to take time, and that, I guess that's part of the long-term vision of the club and your role at the club now.
Absolutely. As well. Look, it's a big project. That's for sure. We are really at the infancy of it at the moment, so it's a big project for sure. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that needs to be put in place. A lot of planning, a lot of systems and structure, and a lot of development too. We have a duty as a club, if we're serious about this, in terms of not only establishing strong links with our community clubs, but also our community coaches, developing them further, and that'll be part of the role too, to try and develop our community coaches, to coach the kids, so to speak, and then hopefully trying to develop those coaches at the community level to potentially come onto our pathway as well and become pathway coaches. So it all ties in. I think it's about creating those opportunities, but we have to play our part in servicing that, and then obviously we're obviously hoping that the community game will play their part in servicing us too. So it's a joined up approach. And I'll have some time now to try and put those plans together, meet with the chairman of the local community clubs and try and establish those links and explain the plan and what we're looking to try and do. And then, like I said, it's then getting the funding, the resource, the finance and support to continue to develop it. And then ultimately in a couple of years, when the opportunity presents, we can put our bid and our application forward to the RFL, and fingers crossed we'll be successful.